Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. And how is everybody out there on this bright, sunshiny, gray day that we have? Hello there, Miss Deb. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
You're our favorite guest star.
Hi, Sue. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. I'm so happy I could join you today. So exciting.
I know because you had some new stories you were telling me about people who said the opposite of affirmations and they got what they asked for. And it
Well,
was
that's
quite
true.
surprising. It was like, whoa, you're kidding me.
Yeah, that is true. If you put a negative in that affirmation, even if you use the word positive or positively, it's not the same thing.
No, no, no.
It just doesn't work.
The word of what you want to have less of in your life can't be part of an affirmation, okay? Because that's
Right,
giving it focus. We will give you some
right.
of those stories. Okay, you will notice from this statement, be patient with yourself as you evolve. Small, healthy choices make a big difference in the long run. Okay, you'll notice just in this statement, we mentioned patience, the fact that
Hmm.
you are evolving, and you're
Hmm.
capable of making good choices for you. These are statements that are positive, even though we're asking you to be patient with yourself. The reason affirmations are so important, declarations of intention are so important, it's because every day, all day long, we all process energy, don't we, Deb?
Oh my goodness, yes.
And
Hmm.
I actually love walking in a room of people where nobody's paying any attention to their energy because I'm very helpful. I qualify it for everybody in the room.
Yes, you do. And you work really hard at doing that. It's amazing.
Right, because everybody energy gets qualified first with royal blue, which is to line everything up neatly for the people. And then with white to make sure everything is really, really clean and pure for you. And third, we use a variety of colors all over the room that everybody makes and everybody shares. If you think of it as a rainbow, Debbie and I get together and I make more blue and she makes more yellow. So we exchange the benefits of the overages and the underages. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah, we share that. We share our excess colors. It's wonderful.
And it's
And
what
we all know we like to walk into a room that's negative.
Right. We've all had that experience. You walk in behind an argument, you walk in behind somebody or a group of people complaining, whine, whine, whine. Deb and I did we aren't going to tell you where, but it was 4 years ago. We did a really big event. And when we walked in the room, we both went, whoa. It was like the negative police had dropped off two busfuls and
Hmm.
everybody was whining. And I opened the session with, I'm going to call you all a ambulance. Stop it. Wham, wham, wham.
You did.
And
You did, but
they didn't even laugh, remember?
no, not at all. And it was like we walked into a wall. There was like a whole wall right there of just not letting any positive things in, but we chipped away at it
Yes, we did.
and it got much better.
Yes. And a couple of people who were especially unhappy people that day, Deb was very kind and took them aside and asked them if they really wanted to be somewhere else. And when they said yes, we gave them their money back so that they could take all of their unhappiness somewhere else. Because when
Right.
a room is trying to work its way to be more peaceful, to feel better about themselves, if you got a bunch of negative Nellies, that doesn't help, does it?
Not at all. And it actually prevents the other people from taking in all the good information that we needed to share. So better off let them go. And the whole room did change. The colors in the room changed, the energy in the room changed. So it was well worth having that happen.
Yes. So, why affirmations? Why does Sue Lawton constantly wail on people about what you're thinking and what you're saying? Just like being unaware that you're processing energy all day long and you can qualify it. We call that
Mm-hmm.
qualifying. I get up in the morning and I say, all my energy today is about making the world a better place. All of the energy I touch today, I process today, is about making things lighter, relieving burdens. Everything is going to be a better day. So you start by qualifying your energy. So the more you put out positive, the more positive people are drawn to you.
It's
And
like you become it's like you become a little bit of a magnet for like things.
right. And with affirmations, if you think of them as declarations for your
Hmm.
intention of how to spend your day with your own selves, what happens?
Things change. People, you might run into someone that you haven't seen for a while, or a colleague, and you realize that you guys have a similar interest in something, or um, something that was especially troubling in your work environment or in a family situation resolves itself because you're in a different place.
Yeah, you keep the door open for change. And if you're declaring affirmations and you've set up your vision board and you have specific goals, you'll be free from distractions. You're going to wake up your mind to participate with positive change. You're going to allow
Hmm.
a new perspective. You're going to allow awareness of virtues. So we're going to talk about virtues. Um, the influence that other people have and how you think of yourself sometimes can be pretty scary, can't it, Deb?
Oh, yes. Just a word from or a comment can just spur off all these feelings that you have, old habits that just won't break. So when you use positive affirmations, you can finally get through that and realize that those are just old things you need to let go, old patterns that you need to break and change.
Yeah, because once you recognize an old negative thought has surfaced, that's when you again requalify your energy and you requalify your intentions.
Hmm.
And when I put all these together, Debbie got quite excited. She goes, "These are so cool."
They are.
When I listed virtues, because that's what's at the top of all these cards, the word balance was intended for heart, mind, body, and spirit. Because if we're really happy at home and we're a wonderful cook and a wonderful housekeeper, a wonderful gardener, and we keep a very good social calendar and we're never late, but then when we go to church, we get cranky with the people handling the teenagers because they're not as good at it as we used to be. Then we got to work for balance. We got to
Mhm.
like work to be patient with other people's learning to be good like you evolved to. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And sometimes some of us, the perfectionistic people that we are, um, all the pressures that we put on ourselves to be that perfect person, like you said, the perfect planner, the perfect hostess. Other people are doing the best they can. They just may be doing it differently than what our expectations are. And we need to take a step back and look at that and realize that they need to learn. It's their journey.
Yeah, and that we set a really good example, but then we have to let their talents come out in their order. If we try to criticize or we try to reformat to make them a mini me, they may not wear that well. They may not be as effective.
No.
And
And a lot of parents try to do that with their kids too. I see that even at the young age of the with the children that I deal with. And we that word evolve really just comes to mind again. Kids of any age, they just need to evolve. They need to find their own way, their own rhythm, their own set of thought processes. So sometimes they may go about it in a much more complex way, but if they get the end result, then it's okay. And we have to accept that too.
and yeah, and one of the most common questions I get from people is they'll say, I'm using the oils, I'm saying the affirmations, and I can feel like it's change happening, but it's not in the right order. And I go, the right order? They have it in mind how things should change, and they have it in a certain order they think it should happen. So even though they say they want change, they're not open to how or that it's going to feel new or different. It's kind of like after you've had a dog in the house and been your buddy for 14 years, and the dog passes on to doggy heaven, and you keep trying to make everything feel normal again. Well, it's going to be a new normal
Mm-hmm.
because Buddy was part of every day, and you had to think about Buddy before you went out to the grocery store, and you had to think about, do you have enough food and enough blue pads? When we think in terms of the filters we use to plan our day, we need to think in terms of what's good for us. So when we say things like using essential oils, you don't have to use three, you don't have to use two, you don't have to use a blend. You can really, really get on. Oh, this is such a cute question. We'll come right back to this. You really have to get with the program of we're expecting change. Many of our habits that keep us depressed or keep us from trying new things is old habits. So if we
Mm-hmm.
want new habits and we're putting white fur on our belly and we're saying things like, I'm breathing in faith and love, and that's what I need to make my phone calls before lunch today. I'm doing all the hard things before lunch today. It's really, really important that you just take a minute to be perfectly present.
Right. You know, the friend of mine that is trying to do this and was like, I don't understand why it's not working. Well, they took the oil, they slapped it on, and it was like, I'm breathing in faith and love. Well, no, that's really not the way you do it. You have to say it, you have to mean it, you have to want it. Okay? You need to take ownership for what you're trying to do with this process. And if you're just going to like not really be willing to take an active role in establishing balance, for example, then don't bother. It's just not going to happen the way that you want it to happen if you're not fully invested in this process. And when you are, oh my gosh, amazing things happen every day. You'll see that if your thing, as Sue said, I want to make all my calls before noon today and they're going to be successful calls, it will happen. It's amazing how this works.
And it is, and the precious molecules of the oils were designed by the creator of our world to complement us, to complement the human body, to complement the animal bodies that find plants and eat them. Everything was designed to work together. Whenever if we start to eat protein for breakfast instead of bacon and eggs, we're asking for a change for our health. So you're going to expect to feel different. When I have the protein in the morning for breakfast, whipped up in our magic blender with fruit of some kind, um, I find that I don't get hungry or start wanting to nosh something very much before noon, and our day starts very, very early. But the protein stays with me, so I feel different when I use the protein, and I'm grateful. But if you're using oils and you don't expect anything to be different, or you want to manage the order that the change is going to happen, you're going to spend time working against yourself. Am I explaining that in a way that makes sense?
No, that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
And I want you to think about this because Deb and I are starting next week with the in laws and the outlaws and how to prep you for holidays and shopping and stuff. But you got to
Mm-hmm.
remember, you only have so much emotional energy each day. Don't spend it on things that don't matter or on people who don't value you or your time.
Mm-hmm.
Be discerning. What that means is if you set an intention to be highly productive and you have your list, and one of those chaos drawing people shows up on your phone that they're calling you, you have to have the discernment to let it go to voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
You have to qualify your energy and your time that it's if they have a real emergency, they will leave you a message and you can play it back and choose to respond. You can't let other people's bad choices make decisions to interfere with your flow of positive things in your life. Does that make sense?
Right. You have to recognize that some of those people are just going to drain your energy to such a point that you're not able to accomplish what you wanted. So by ignoring them for that time, you will be able to meet your goals for the day. And it's no, the more you do it, it's easier to recognize it, because until you really stop and think, you don't realize how much they do drain you in those situations. So the more that you're aware of it, like Sue said, you're going to realize just that ignoring them for that little bit of time does make so much difference. It
And
really does.
right. And the truth is, when you take the oils and you apply them to you and you state your affirmations, whatever
Right.
positive thoughts you want to say, and then you answer the phone when chaos is calling, the universe is going to be confused. Because you can, on the one hand, say, I'm going to be highly productive, and this is my list, and this is what I want to focus on. And then Nancy Needy calls you. God forgive me if there's somebody named Nancy Needy out there. But I'm trying to use an example of sometimes people just like to take up your time and space, and it's
Right.
not a balanced relationship. So when
Right.
that happens, you have to decide when and how much time you're going to devote to this character. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. You mean you need to learn the ability to say no,
Yes.
right? That's really what you're doing. You're learning to say no. No to the phone call or no to the energy drain. And again, like I said, it's not the easiest thing to do, but once you do it and you see the positive things, everybody that's going through this process, we have so many goals for ourselves. We want to achieve, we want to change, we want to evolve. And we're going to recognize that energy drain and those people aren't in our best interest. And we're going to have to make steps to decrease the amount of influence they have on our lives.
Right. And we've
Is
explained
that,
to
is that politically correct?
right. No, you did it right. The thing is, when we explain to people about the law of attraction, they think that applies to other people. No, it applies to everybody. So if you have your
Mhm.
list and you say, I'm going to be highly productive, I'm going to do all my hard stuff before noon, I'm going to get the, credit card thing that was wrong fixed, I'm going to get all these other things fixed, and then that old familiar feeling of you could be a hero to, you know, Nancy Needy, or you can accomplish your list. You're saying yes to you. You're not saying no to Nancy. You're saying yes to you.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. It's the way that you need to start thinking. Absolutely.
Okay, so you apply oils, you state the virtues you're going to get in touch with today. Like, I am working on balance. I'm balancing my business needs and my business goals with my personal goals. I am going to get, dry cleaning picked up. I'm going to get the grocery shopping done. And I'm going to drop off oil samples at 2 different spas all before noon. And I'm going to choose to only answer the phone of really positive people. And
Mhm.
by noon, you will be so excited and so productive, you're just going to keep moving down the list.
Right. And it's a good thing to remember to, if you don't have a small vision board, you have a large one, make sure that you review it in the morning, go over your goals, go over your virtues. And I think what people don't realize is the application of the oils and saying the affirmations, like I want good balance, you do that throughout the day. It's just not a one-time thing. And every time you apply the oils again and you state that affirmation again, you are strengthening yourself to achieve your goals for that day.
Right on. One of my favorites is everything is working out very well for me.
Right.
The moment you change your perception is the moment you rewrite the chemistry of your body. So if your perception was previously, I don't know enough people to be able to earn the $1,500 bonus, your perception needs to shift to, I know a party mom. I remember when our kids were in school, she had all the parties. I don't know all those people, but she does. See, you shifted the perspective from thinking you had to do it all to wait a minute, I know party mom. And it's a simple example, but it really, really works. And if you say, like when I'm driving in the car, Debbie laughs at me. Years ago, she used to say, "Do you really say that every time you get in the car?" Yes, I do. I thank my guardian angels for an open door and safe trip. In advance, I thank them. That's an intention. That's an affirmation. Everything is working out very well for me. Because if you're not careful when you're in traffic, you can get caught up. You can get saying things that are derogatory about other drivers. You could call them words or names. And even though they can't hear you, you're expressing less than positive terms. So I
Right.
used to curse people with really fun things like, all right, you cut me off. So when you get to work today, you're going to be obsessed with generosity and compliment people and go out of your way to be kind to people. That's the kind of ways I used to curse people. Now I don't
Yes, and
even notice.
she really does that too, folks. She curses them with kindness. You
Once in a
do.
while, the one about breaking out with hives that spells rotten
Well,
person on their back comes out, but not often.
hmm but you have me now doing that every time I get in the car, even if it's just to run across the street. I think it's so important. And we always joke about the intention for getting a parking spot and who's got the little silly sayings about, you know, my aunt says, Mary, Mary, full of grace, help me find a parking space. And it's
I love
silly and funny,
that.
but it's right. And it's a positive statement. It's an intention that when she gets where she's going, there's going to be a space. And for her, it works, and we all do those funny little things, not realizing that we are changing, we're voicing an intention, we're voicing a want. So it's a fun thing to do. It
Full of grace,
absolutely
help
is.
me find a parking space.
I know.
I can't wait till my cousin Chris that one.
Okay.
And whatever you do 18 times in a row successfully, you want to make positive change. If you make the statements 18 times in a row, consciously positive, you've made a change in your wiring. You've made a change in your perspective. It just needs to be honored 18 times in a row. That's why we say things like, please, when you're in the car, when you're going up steps, work out a rhythm of something positive you say to yourself. And the
Mhm.
oils really do make a difference.
Yes, they do. So I love this. I love your blend here, by the way. This is one of my new favorite blends. I just love the three of these together.
Yes, it's very happy. I am open to accepting abundance in all areas of my life.
Woohoo!
Yes, people will say, oh, I don't have any money. Oh, I don't have any resources. Oh, I can't find the right things. And I'll go like, wait, wait, wait. Let's go back to I'm open to accepting abundance in all areas of my life. Because if you suddenly have resources, people who would like to enjoy those resources are going to find you. Like when people win the lottery, they got
Mhm.
relatives coming out of the woodwork. So if
That is so true.
if you get a truckload of mums delivered to your front yard, all your neighbors are going to come over and see if you got anything extra. So if you accept it in all areas of your life, it may be the raft to help you on your way to balancing your budget. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Grapefruit,
and
grapefruit breaks up old barnacles. It breaks up resistance to change. Lang Lang soothes the fears because change means things are going to look different.
mm-hmm.
And peppermint just gathers grapefruit and lang lang and runs them around you really fast before you can change your mind.
Well, we've talked about it before. Sometimes when we want change, there's a fear behind that even though we want it, there's a little bit of a fear there. So this blend is really good at helping us try to compensate for some of that.
And if you're particularly dysfunctional, spikenard can be your best friend to help you stay in present moment. Spikenard is an amazing gift to get rid of the virus of discontent. Spikenard mixed with this blend would actually be really, really effective at helping you not notice when Nancy Needy comes up on your cell phone. Okay?
Yeah, that's interesting. Very nice. I like that idea.
Yes, just add a little drop of the spikenard, and that will help with grief too. Grief is something when you lose someone, or there's a big change in your neighborhood, or a big change in your work environment, or everyone got a window office except you. Wham, wham, wham. I'm going to call that wambulance again. But the deal is that if you use your oils and you stay focused on all of your goals, you're not going to get hung up on being unhappy at work. You're not going to get hung up about, who's sitting in your place at church. You're not going to get hung up on those funny things. Mm-hmm. You're going to let things flow because it's stress and tightness of veins and arteries and tightness of thinking that keeps you from resting well. And we have an epidemic of adrenal fatigue going around this country. Mm-hmm. We're going to cover that next week with you. You're going to be really surprised at different ways that adrenal fatigue can be relieved.
And I think that when you're going through this process too, you have to realize that the only person that you need to compare yourself with is yourself. That you're, looking at yourself. Did you do your goals? Did you do them in the manner? What can you change? What did you appreciate? Don't compare yourself to the people around you. Then you don't even appreciate what you have. If you're so busy looking at what others have and wanting what you think they have, you can't appreciate what you're going through and enjoying. Things will just pass you by.
Right on. Peace is our choice to be in the heart in day-to-day moments. Okay. If everyone around you is overexcited about something going on the TV, say to yourself before you approach the viewing screen, I am peaceful no matter what it is. I am staying calm no matter what it is. If you choose that, whatever is going on that everyone is all excited about, you will be able to resist what we call the group function. Because group panic, unless if you're standing with it, you can figure it out later that that's part of what happened. But it's better if you choose peace and calm first. But again, that's an intention, and any oil works. Anything you have with you is the appropriate oil. Get it?
That's great. Mm-hmm.
So whether it's orange or lavender or whatever you've got, white fir is a big, nice one this time of year. Douglas fir, all those work.
And if you state your intention for the use of that oil, it will work.
Yes, and right? It really will work in spite of how disturbing the news might be. And on the East Coast, we've had a lot of incidents. We had 9/11, we've had hurricanes, we've had all kinds of interesting things go on, and the news never gets tired of reporting the really unhappy, sad things that take place. And there's some people who can't turn it off. They are glued to the TV, and they don't realize they're traumatizing themselves because they're not staying calm and peaceful. They're not praying. They're frozen. Turn the TV off. And Yay. I love the self-hug. Right hand. Yes. Frankincense, wild orange. Frankincense and anything else. In your palm of your right hand, rub it on your left shoulder, and just restate your intention for your feeling good about you, no matter what has happened. Your boyfriend and your husband get into an argument because they ended up at the auto wash together. Whatever. You, your own self hug and determine you're going to stay peaceful and calm. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this is a list. I want you to pick something off of here because these are all virtues. Do you love all these words? These are all great virtues. And
They
you
are.
can pick them. And they're all appropriate for saying to yourself, I am open to receive prosperity. Because, see, when you
Mm-hmm.
say that and you use essential oils, you're writing over your old misinformation, your fear of
Mm-hmm.
being rich, your fear of success. Your parents may have said rich people were ugly or whatever. You can just write over it. I am open to receive prosperity. I am pure happiness. I am giving. When you say to yourself, I am, not you are, because in your head, if you're talking to yourself and you hear the term you are, that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
The dark side replaying for you misery and pain so you get distracted. Get it?
Right.
So,
I love these. They are very positive, and many of us need to really say these throughout the day so we can rewrite, those old broken feelings that we had about ourselves.
right. So, if we want to use these and we want to make sure our brain gets the message, what oils do we recommend for the brain?
Things to anyone that's going to help with the oxygenation, like frankincense.
Very good. Sandalwood, myrrh,
Mm-hmm.
bergamot, all those are excellent to make happy brains. And if you got foggy brain, you want to add a little helichrysum, little cypress. Those are all really good.
Mm-hmm.
Throat. What are we doing for throat if you're saying, I am able to express myself? I am safe. I am safe expressing myself. What do we put on the throat?
Hmm. What's coming to mind is, would we do something like a juniper berry
We could,
there?
yes, we could do juniper berry.
I don't know why that comes to mind for me.
Okay,
You
well, we
know,
have people volunteering lavender. We have people volunteering
or
myrrh.
lavender.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Myrrh and lemon together are great for vocalists so that they're free to express.
Ginger.
Ginger, if you're having trouble telling the
Yep.
truth in a diplomatic way, we particularly like ginger with the myrrh.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just light suggestions. So pick an affirmation. I am. I am endless. I am intuitive. I am trusting myself. I am respectful of others. Pick two. And then when you're going for your 20-minute walks that everyone's doing, right, guys? Say it over and over. I am generous. I am grateful. When you say these things over and over again, you pick up the rhythm of the expression, even if you're saying it just inside of you, and other
Mm-hmm.
things fall away.
Right.
Stress falls away. You don't play back the disappointment of your husband and your boyfriend having it out about the World Series or whatever their problem was. Okay? Your heart can heal. You have to let your heart heal. And your spirit will always speak if you let it. What do you say for that?
For your spirit?
Yes. What kind of oils would you like so that you can hear your spirit talk better?
Hmm. I like a lot of the citrus oils. To me, those are really happy oils.
Yes.
Um, so I enjoy that. Um, and anything for energizing your spirit. Maybe mixing like peppermint with one of the citrus oils might even improve that. More upbeat things. Um,
And if you're really brave, you can use clary sage.
well, I was thinking about that, but that one's a tough one.
It
That one.
is, but it summons truth. We call it the soulful truth and wisdom is inspired by Clary Sage.
Mm-hmm.
What we just
Mm-hmm.
ask is that you please don't drink alcohol when you're using Clary Sage because then
Right.
it can tip you to nightmares.
Right.
Okay? And for your body, any of the oils are good for your body,
Mm-hmm.
but declare what it's for. I am
Right.
loving my circulation. I am loving my respiratory system. I am loving the thin me that's coming to the surface. You declare what's going to happen.
Right. And I think, and you've talked about it when you talk about your body, that's like the perfect time to go take a nice soak using Epsom salts, and just, I mean, talking about treating your whole body just by laying there in that wonderful oil.
Yes. And yes, we did create sets of cards, and we've also created a calendar for people who are new to the idea of intentions and for people who used to use them and then got lazy. We
Mm-hmm.
recommend that you pick up the affirmation cards and the personal peaceful growth calendar, and you leave these things around where you can see them. You take them with you, you prop them up. Because in order for you to feel better, you have to accept change and you have to think differently.
Can I share the story of you, the secret affirmation hider?
Yes.
Okay. My friend Sue, I don't know how she does this because she's really never alone very long, but she hides these for me throughout my house. And there's time, it's months before I find one, but it's always the one I need at that moment. I mean, I don't know how it happens, but it's so true. I mean, I went in a drawer that I never opened and I found one of the cards there and it was like just what I needed to hear at that moment. So, I mean, I love those cards. I have a couple sets and I put them in cards that I send people, like in my birthday cards or thinking of you cards. I when I get in a friend's car, I hide one on their visor, and it's just such a fun thing to do because those words, like even when people read them at a party, it's just what they need to hear. It really helps them right at that moment. It's amazing. And the calendar is the same thing. You leave it open, people walk by and read it. It's like, wow, I needed that today. So they're wonderful gifts and they're just, but I mean, Sue started that a long time ago and I have to tell you, I just love it.
Well, and the other thing that we really are into is helping people understand that music is their friend.
Yes.
Music, you have music. If you've had music in your life before, if you can avoid commercials, it's really helpful. A lot of people have music CDs they play, or they have music, on a device. Music
Hmm.
is wonderful because it will soothe you between distractions.
Hmm.
Okay, a hug is all you need to chase the blues away. And we told you how to do this the regular hug, right guys?
Hmm. That's just so cute. Poor Eeyore.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. And think in terms of as I move through the layers of other people's opinions and beliefs, I see within myself a magnificent being, wise and beautiful. I love
Aw,
what I see in me.
that's
Okay?
wonderful.
And the kind of
Hmm.
crazy things that I do, you guys would never do. And it's okay. You're going to do your own crazy stuff. You're going to do your own surprise yourself. You're going to do your own be kind to everybody. You're going to be doing a lot of things. But if your intention, if your affirmation, your essential oil, if your intention is to be more aware of your virtues, you have to talk about virtues. You have to talk about complimenting strangers. Or haven't you ever gotten an elevator and told somebody, wow, that is the best shade of blue? You couldn't have picked a better shade to have
Oh,
on
absolutely.
for total
Hmm.
strangers. It just brightens them up because, there was no reason for a total stranger to tell them how good they look. And I'm not trying to pick them up. Come on. I'm just trying to say, gosh, lady, that blue coat on you looks really nice. It's amazing.
Right. And it's so much fun to share in other people's joy when other people are happy, having a very happy experience. You and I just jump in and we clap for them and support them, and they turn around and look at you like, "Wow." So it's just kind of fun to participate with that in the happy times of others as well.
Yes. But I really appreciate your guys coming. I appreciate your questions. This is recorded. We are going to play it back. The secret is you're the only one in your head. You are the
Mm.
only one doing what it is you do. So you're in charge. If you want to be happy, be happy. You don't have to tell others. If others around you like to be miserable and that's the company you have to keep, inside your head, you can be going la, 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 and you can be playing back the botanical gardens inside your head. You can have Michael Jackson inside your head. You can do whatever you want, and you don't have to participate with Nancy negative or Nancy needy. Smile and nod and pick up your phone. Oh, sorry, got a call. But thank
That's a
you for
great idea.
joining us. Thank you for stating your intentions. Thank you for making the world a better place by playing with virtues. And Deb,
Mhm.
thanks for joining us as a surprise guest speaker.
Thank you. It was a pleasure joining all of you, and I just thank you for your time and just enjoy the experience, enjoy the growth. Be happy.
Yes, be
Thanks, Sue. Bye, everyone.
bye.